Wonderful. So people, the professionals are in, and we're going to have the conversation. When we talk about mental illnesses, is it hereditary? Is it situational? I mean, how do we say that there's a family that has issues of mental illness and they can run through, or it's just individual?
Okay, so with mental health, a lot of times we say it's genetics.
Oh.
Yes.
It is genetic?
It is genetic. So that's why sometimes you can find traces of individuals with mental health challenges. For example, schizophrenia. In the olden days...
Which one is that one? Is it a food?
No, schizophrenia is like psychotic behaviors.
Okay.
Or psychosis.
Okay.
In terms, what the ordinary Ghanaian says, a madman.
Okay.
Okay, so you can find that traces in certain families, and in olden times we used to say it was demonic possession.
Okay.
That's why some of these people were sometimes hidden from the
general public,
because it brought about shame and disgrace. However, research has shown that mental health can also be derived from situational factors, environmental factors. That is why today the work environment can be a factor to mental health.
Mental illness.
Yeah.
My lady, I was asking how your choice of career, the stresses at work, can actually, like you said, situational mental illnesses. Is that possible from the psychologist's point of view?
Yes. So an example is, so she's a career coach and she can bear with me. Temperaments. Temperaments have been shown to be associated with certain jobs.
Okay.
So for example, if you are a sanguine, you better have no business doing with a very melancholic job.
Okay. A sanguine is what? In a layperson's language, so that all our viewers are absolutely educated.
Okay. A sanguine is a personality trait that is characterized by happiness, outgoing, you are out there, sociable, happy.
What we call the extrovert.
The extrovert, good.
The sanguine.
Thank you very much.
Good.
And then the melancholics are the introverted people who are very quiet, they like to read books, very reserved. So a sanguine kind of a job is, for example, journalism is good for you. Outgoing, like tourism, maybe musician, like
careers that allow you to meet people,
to be out there
is actually better for a sanguine.
For a sanguine. But if a sanguine finds him or herself in a bank, okay, like every day you are keying in numbers, or maybe you find yourself doing a job piloting, you know, you have to be focused with piloting.
Yes.
And if you find yourself fixed in that environment, it means over time you'll be hidden, you'll be locked up. And then the DNA of every human being is to be seen. You have to leave yourself out there. If you don't, it will be as if you have been brought to this world just to cope. An example of coping is finding job to do.
Yes. So you are actually earning a keep, and you are actually not great at it, but you are trying so hard to do something.
To do something just because you need to earn money. And if you are unemployed, at the end of the day, you still go through situational depression. That is because you are unemployed and you keep writing applications for jobs and going for interviews and not being picked up, you end up being depressed because others are doing it and you are not.
Disappointment can cause depression.
Exactly.
Well, I need you to go through what would let you yourself, a viewer, understand that something is not right with me mentally. And from the professional point of view, the characteristics that when you exhibit in your office, you know that this is toxic, I'm not myself, I'm not happy here, and it's time for me to change. So first of all, to you, Ophelia.
Okay, so first of all, you asked about how to express emotion. Okay, I'll go deeper into good communication skills. You can bear fact with me. A lot of Ghanaians do not know how to communicate. We have 3 types of communication skills. Assertive communication skills, where you are concerned about your own needs and your concerns, considering another person's. Passive aggressive, right? These are the people who are people pleasers, or we call them fawning, where they would just please other people to prevent conflict, or to be seen very nice and
holy
good,
and
as holy,
wonderful person.
Yes. And then at the end of the day, they feel bad and they
themselves.
regret. Like, why did I even let her or him do this, right? And then third, we have the aggressive. Those ones who are just shouting when talking, thinking that the shouting is bringing about some productive thing, but nothing. And aggressive people are not concerned about your needs or emotions. It's always about them. And further on, those are the people we call the narcissist, right? It's always about them. So if the gentleman is able to understand how to assertively communicate, it means that he will communicate through his emotions and feelings. All right, someone labeling you as crazy, first of all, is disrespect. Secondly, the person...
So we don't get to call anybody crazy. Not even in a funny or jovial manner.
In a jovial manner, no way.
Thank you.
Because our environment is made up of the words we hear around us. And you mention 3 or 5 times a word and you become the word. So if you keep on hearing, you are crazy, it just like she is...
you manifest the
word crazy. Because that is the word you hear in your environment, and that is one way narcissists use to control people. That's why you see a very beautiful lady who is being manipulated by a certain gentleman, and you go like, why is this woman allowing this gentleman to treat because in her environment, that is who she's been reduced to. Right, so if this gentleman is able to assertively communicate to the person who labeled him crazy and go, for example, an assertive is, why are you calling me crazy? Because a lot of times bullies at work, you need to stand up for them. If not, you continue to be a bully to them. They'll continue to bully you, right? So you assertively communicate, and when you communicate, you set the boundary that they can no longer cross, right? And then your second question was how to manage stress. There are ways of managing stress. An example is mindfulness. The last time I came to TV3 with Na Shako, I kind of like display what mindfulness is. If we have time, I can do it here again. Mindfulness is more about you observing and having a greater control of your environment. And the environment involves your emotions, right? If you're able to manage your emotions, no one will have any power over you. Because people... And secondly is deep breathing, right? A lot of Ghanaians will say, oh, this is too white for me. But deep breathing is more about controlling and understanding your breath.
The usual breathing.
Yes.
And out,
right? And then that kind of breathing is magical, because when you're breathing, you don't breathe from your shoulders. Like the people who breathe, it's a wrong kind of a breathing, right? Because this is hyperventilating. It's more of a flight or freeze response. But a right breathing is breathing from your stomach, right? So if I ask some of you to do this breathing, you will find it very difficult, and you go like, right? Because you've been breathing from your chest. Right? But the bronchs or the lungs are here. They are not here. So you breathe inside to have a control of the environment. So this kind of breathing is for working or running or doing something or thinking fast or be alerted. So with that, you are not resting. But breathing from the stomach means you are resting. And this is an example of when you want to sleep. You give out a loud sigh, and then you go to sleep, because now the brain is accepting your kind of breathing. It synchronizes your breathing to allow you to sleep. Have a good rest. Have a good rest. And then next one is journaling. Right, I know a lot of Ghanaians do not like to journal, to write out their thoughts, because even when they write it out, they believe that somebody will read it, so they script it. Right, but in those days where we used to have diaries that had logs, we used to write a whole lot of messed up stuff, because no one will get to read it. So that's how journaling is. You become very faithful with yourself.
Absolutely.
You see yourself like a child who needs the help that no one out there can give you, and write or jot down these points out for yourself, and then every day you practice these journaling points. And in these journaling points are positive, affirmative.
Okay.
Something like when you look at yourself and you say, I'm able.
I am.
I'm well to do.
Yes.
I'm enough.
Yes.
You see,
when
by
you say positive things to yourself, it actually helps with your mental. So the pastors were not wrong after all. God bless you. Tell your brother that I will be great. Please tell your brother that I will be great. Tell your sister that it is well with him. We are positively.
Okay, I don't want to go with the pastors because, hey, but yeah, some of the pastors, I'm sorry to say, are very manipulative.
Indeed.
Because prophecy, they say, is very questionable.
Well, we will not go there
All
today.
right.
Another time we may.
The question is the working organization a mentally healthy organization?
Oh, there are organizations that are mentally unhealthy.
Yes.
Give us the characteristics of a mentally unhealthy organization, ma'am.
Okay, so the working culture, right? And this deals with, so for example, I just want to go direct, TV3. There's a management of TV3 has insurance policies for its workers.
Yes.
Whereby, because you know some of the mental insurance policies do not include mental
illness.
So that's the management of TV3 ensures that if any...
We have insurance for health, and I'm sure it covers
mental health
everything.
covers that.
Yes.
Exactly. And how are situations being dealt with? Is it one-sided? Like, is everyone knowing that if at the end of the day, if I go to HR, nothing is being done about it? And are there enough leave days or off days whereby people are really entitled to take these off days?
Some how beneficial are leaves for our mental health?
So I like to add that in 1943, Abraham Maslow, the theory of motivation, he started with, first of all, how to motivate human staff, right? Number one was physiological needs, second, safety, third, self-esteem, fourth, sense of belonging.
Yes.
So with sense of belonging, if people feel that where I am, I can go for my leave and come back. I am valued. I am needed. It's a community for me. The environment is not competitive.
Yes.
They can go for their leave and come. Secondly, ignorance. How many people understand mental health? They basically do not know that, oh, I need to rest. And even rest, what does rest mean during leave? Others would love to go work elsewhere and get more money. But in taking your leave, it's called quality working life. That you are rewarding yourself, that you see yourself worthy, you are self-deserving of the leave you have taken to go and rest. For example, if you are a working mother or a father, and in our culture we know a lot of daddies are absent.
Yes.
Fathers should really take leave and spend with their family.
Yes.
These are the times you build the childhood memories for your children. Let them know, yeah, daddy was hardworking, but when he was on leave days, we
enjoyed him.
It's the same with mothers too. This is where you spend time, you look good, go for rest, sleep therapy, massage therapy, to look good. Look at Miss Nancy.
Soft life pain. Soft life pain. Any opportunity I get, I want to rest. It's very important.
It's very important.
And it's the biggest anti-aging medication. Rest.
Rest.
Without worry, you would always look young.
Yeah.
You would always glow. This is good. This is good. Let's look at how he described his feelings. Anxiety, feeling overwhelmed. He says that he doesn't even want to get out of his room. Going to work, having to deal with people, speak to people has become a challenge. With all of these things that he said, does it make meaning?
Yes, yes.
It does?
Yes.
What is happening to him?
For example, if he was a client and he walked in after a comprehensive assessment, these were the symptoms for depression and anxiety.
Okay.
Right. And then with this, there are triggers. And a trigger is him being labeled as crazy, right? So with such a person, it didn't just start now. It's a prolonged emotions and behaviors that has overwhelmed him or that has overwhelmed him.
He says he's not lost any loved one. He's not lost a business. He has a job. He has a family. Yet he's feeling like that.
Yes. An example is, why do some rich people commit suicide? Right? We are able to easily commit success in life with materialism. Right? That's why I first spoke about temperament, who you are you seen, are you heard? People who cry out to this just want to be heard and loved. So the emotion behind this is depression.
So
and
somebody could actually have everything material at their disposal and still feel empty.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Feel empty. Because an example is the working environment. If it was a positive working environment, he won't have to be labeled crazy. I mean, that word shouldn't have to be heard around
the working environment. Some of the things that should not be said. With colleagues that are rude. You know, my 8 to 5 job here at Media General is to be the style coach. My job is to make sure that everyone that goes on air is appropriate for what they do, dressed well for their body shape and size, and the content that they are putting on TV. And you know the egos that I have to deal with every day. And you would ask, oh, well, your hair has been on for longer than usual. It's not looking too kept for you to go on the news with. And the person just says that, so I brought it, so what am I supposed to do with it? Rude comments. And does that also speak to a person's, is it a nature thing or stress, or how do we define that? People that always give rude responses.
Okay, so there are many factors to this, all right? First of all, a lot of people do not like what we term the truth, because truth is relative. Right? What may be truth and positive to you may be negative and disgrace to them. Right? And in our environment, we have not been taught correction. To teach someone to act in a way or to be molded in a way is very difficult, and it's a human nature. But when the person works with you for some time and knows that Miss Nancy is a very open, positive person, your aura pulls them to your truth, because your truth is your profession. For example, if I look at someone and I assess the person psychologically, and I say, I'm sorry, but I think you may have an eating disorder because you don't like to eat. Because the disorder is attached to the name, the person may think I am just labeling the person. But in my profession, it means you need help. And what is wrong with needing help? You see, so it's the understanding behind the facade. Secondly, it's about insecurity, right? Maybe the person really put so much effort into looking that way.
Only for you to tell her that it's zero.
It's zero.
I can understand.
The human effort is brought back to zero. And the person would really like stand up against that. And thirdly, it is just the fact of mere pride. So pride goeth before distraction. That's what the Bible says. So I always want to believe outside of my work profession, I can be corrected by anybody, because I work with children and they are the most brutally honest people. Like they can just look at you and just say whatever that is on their minds.
Auntie, your hair is horrible.
Oh my goodness.
And they will smile.
And they'll smile.
They are holding your hair, telling you it's horrible, and they are smiling.
And they are smiling. And they can, and the worst thing, oh, you look ugly. And they'll just go their way. You see, so if we accept the truth, sometimes when you listen to it and you psychoanalyze it, just take away your emotions from it. Like I said, emotions are not stable. They come when you make use of it. It may be destructive. So you analyze it and then come back for an understanding communication. There's nothing, it is your time. And you decide how you want to use it by making the most out of it. To
the gentleman with this experience, and to so many people out there, how do we help them?
Okay, so number one is to ask yourself at your workplace, what can I do to help the mental health culture in this environment? It could just intentionally asking people, how are you, directly looking into their eyes with genuine concern. Should we go out for a drink? Is this something that we can talk about? Or secondly, visiting them. It's called home visiting or follow-up. Just go to the person's house once in a month or in a blue moon to just look at the person's working environment, and then to also make it a point to work with HR to make sure that these working systems are in place, where if people are really sick, they can you know, take some off days and rest and see to it that they are professionally well, because we have a way of rating the productivity of work rather than the psychological well-being of the workers. Yeah.